Hey, welcome back to the Patty Sadler Show. It is such a pleasure to have you here today. I am telling you, this is a special day for me, as I have been blessed and honored to have some amazing guests. And this particular special has been just a real rewarding experience for me. My next guest is Libby Crow. Libby has her bachelor's in nursing. She's been a nurse for 25 years with a strong background in women and children's services and psychiatric services. She is an author and beginning her business as a motivational and inspirational speaker and coach. She will be facilitating workshops around the country to help people recover and heal from traumatic abuse of predators in their lives. And she has lived this experience, so she's going to share some things with us, as well as she has gone from victim to victor and wishes to teach others how to heal from this abuse. She is dedicated to helping heal hearts and minds of predators' victims through understanding of what a predator is and realizing that it's not your fault. Please welcome the founder and president of Abundant Life Source, Libby Crow, and thank you so much for being here. I am just honored with your presence.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. So Libby, I don't even know how to say this, ask you this without predators.
Yes.
Where does your experience come about predators? Where does that come from?
Well, everyone has someone in their life that is not a real nice person. However, predators are a little bit stronger. These are people that have a mindset that the rest of the world is here to serve them. And they have no conscience about how they're going to hurt someone or use someone. And they don't just have one victim at a time. Most of the time, Patty, they have 3 or 4 people lined up that no one knows about. The other people don't know about each other. And they use them for their own satisfaction or profit. And it doesn't just hurt the victim, it hurts their family, it hurts their extended family, it hurts the community. And it's just to the point where it needs to be discussed now.
So you would say this is really prevalent more so in a community than people realize?
Yes, I would. Several years ago, if you'll remember, it was not fashionable to talk about someone in your family who was an alcoholic. Mm-hmm. It wasn't fashionable to talk about someone that had a drug problem. Mm-hmm. And so that was swept under the carpet. And so people just didn't really talk about it. They didn't know what to do with it. We've gotten to the point where we have now embraced alcoholism. We have the 12-step program. We have detox centers for people who are either on prescription medication and want to be off, or they're using street drugs and they realize that one more use and they will die. Mm-hmm. And they want to become clean and whole again. So we have these centers set up, Patty. But now we've gotten to the point where no one talks about the predators. No one talks about people that are abused for any kind of personal gain. White slavery is becoming very prevalent and discussed, but no one is doing anything to help the people that survive that heal from that whole horrific episode.
Would that be human trafficking that you're speaking of?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Okay, so it is more prevalent in our communities than we realize.
Yes.
And do you have any statistics to?
The statistics that I do have are about the predators themselves. I'm going to be doing more research on the statistics of victims. People that, and it's men and women. It's not just women. It's large. The more people that I speak with, the more people that come in contact with me, I'm surprised at how many people are either themselves a victim or someone in their family. And it's not just, I'm a friend of a friend of a friend. It's like, oh, it's my brother. Oh, it's my son. Oh, it's my mom. So this is a huge thing that needs to be dealt with.
So is this what your business, Abundant Life Source, is going to address?
Yes, it is. And
okay, go ahead.
Well, it has to do with helping people realize that, yes, this is a horrific thing that has happened to you, but you do not have to stay there. You don't have to be stuck. It doesn't have to be 20 years and that's the end of your life. You were abused once 10 years ago and you can never recover from that. I have had personal tragedies from predators, and I have come back, and there are ways to do that, and I am just so wanting to help anyone that has had that in their life to overcome, instead of being a victim, as you said, to be a victor. And that is my goal.
So your mighty message is there is hope.
There is abundant hope.
There is abundant hope.
There is.
So tell me a little bit about your experience. Why do you know so much about a predator?
Predators are very interesting people. Number one, I believe they are some of the best looking people on the planet, which of course makes everyone want to be with them and their friend. The other trick that they are very good at is they're almost chameleon-like in the fact that they become to the victim everything that that victim holds dear or loves or wants to be with. And when you are in love with someone, there is a trust factor there, and so you will ignore the little red flags that pop up, that maybe he didn't call when he said he was going to, or he was supposed to be out of town but he wasn't, or little things like that that you just ignore because you're in love.
Yeah.
And when
Love is blind.
it is to a point.
Yes.
So it's very difficult to realize that it's not your fault when this happens. You're not to blame. You're also not alone. And that was the big piece for me. I thought I was the only one that had gone through this. I didn't know who to talk to. The friends and family that I talked to thought I was crazy because of all the things that were going on. And after I recovered from that, I realized that that is one of the big secrets of predators, is that they isolate you and then make you think that you might be crazy if you tell anybody about them. So it's just time to help the people that have gone through this or have family members that have gone through it. It's time to start taking back our lives, to empower ourselves, to realize that it's not your fault.
Let me ask you something. When you speak of a predator and a victim, how does someone realize or come to terms to accept the fact that they are involved with a predator?
It may take years. It may take years. It may go really quickly. To realize that you're involved with one is, in my book that I am currently finishing, there is a criteria of how to recognize these people.
Great.
And because until you have something in black and white in front of you that tells you exactly what to look for, you don't know. You just think it's you. There's
think you're
something
going
wrong with
crazy.
you. Yes.
Yeah, and so if you can't pinpoint it down, I can't
Exactly.
imagine the horror and the anguish to feel that way and not know if you're going crazy or if something's really
Exactly.
happening to you or not. I know you're working on a project and you can't share a lot of it right now because
Right.
you're writing a book about it right now, but can you share any of your experience with us, a little tiny bit, or?
Certainly. I can tell you that there have been times when you just feel like this person is the most wonderful person in the world, and so you trust them. And that's what I did. I had immense trust for the people in my life that were predators, and even the red flags that went off, I thought, it's not that bad. Really? I mean, really, it's not that bad. It's not that big a deal. And it starts out that way until the big deals or the little deals start snowballing into something big enough that I couldn't just ignore it anymore. And I think one of the big signs for me was my friends and my family would say to me, Libby, we don't see you anymore. Libby, why are you defending this person when they're treating you badly? And I ignored that. I didn't want to hear anything bad about the person I was in love with.
You're protective of them.
Exactly. And so I isolated that whole thing from my family, which was the worst thing I could have done.
Isolation. I think that's a big one
Absolutely.
right there. So if you had any doubt and you felt like you were going crazy in a relationship and you were looking for the signs, one would be that you weren't around your family much.
Right.
And you were defensive of this person and they were treating you badly. So these are a few signs you could look for. And these predators are people that we're talking about people that are involved in human trafficking, child pornography. What else? What other kinds of crimes?
Any kind that will give them gain. Power is one of the big ones. It's not so much money, because if you have power, you can get money.
Yeah.
But power is the ultimate for predators, because they know in their heart, in their mind, that they are superior to the rest of humankind, and they have no problem with exercising that power over others, because after all, we are here to serve them. So it's kind of a catch-22 as far as you protect the predator who's using you. Your family's trying to tell you, get out of that, but you're saying, no, I'm in love with this person. And they are the most wonderful, wonderful person you've ever met. They become whatever it is you want, and they will talk to you and quiz you and make it sound like it's just conversation to find out what it is you like, and then they become that.
That is so devastating.
It is very.
You know, if you think about myself, I have been in domestic abusive relationships, and I can almost, in some ways, shapes and forms, I can very much relate to this person being a predator and put it into that perspective, but it's not the same thing as what we're talking about right now.
Right.
But I mean, if we could only realize that the numbers are big,
They're huge.
and they are in our working communities.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. A lot of predators have double lives. Sometimes they are, it's amazing. They can be anyone, and not to scare anyone, but just realize that if you're in a relationship, or someone that you love is in a relationship, and it just doesn't quite feel right, and you may not be able to put your finger on what it is, but just your radar somehow is going off, just pay attention to the signs, pay attention to what's going on, and see if there aren't a few of these little flags that, one, they are isolating your family member or you. Two, they're always trying to be charming and wonderful, but they can't do that around a large number of people for very long, because you just cannot maintain that.
And they probably
Deal.
others can see through them.
Absolutely. Children are very good at seeing through this.
Wow.
Yes.
So we might be dealing with possession. To a little
Could be. Yeah. Depends.
some part of that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Do you think that these predators have any kind of involvement in satanic activity and stuff like that?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. From the history of the things that I have gone through, that has been the case. And like I said, they are masters of illusion and disguise, and they're not about to give away any trade secrets. However, a true predator, one that knows that they are superior to everyone else, will tell you fantastic things that are true, because they don't think that you can get what they're saying. They think that you're too dumb to understand that.
Wow. What does a victim do if they find themselves wondering if they don't know for sure if they have a predator, but they're wondering if there's a predator in their life, and if there's a chance to escape because of the way they feel? What should somebody do in a situation like this?
I think one of the biggest things is that you have to really, it's almost the similar thing to domestic violence. When you're in a situation, like you were saying, like you have to be very careful about how you exit that relationship, that home. And one of the things, well, at the back of my book, there is a guide on how to extract yourself from those situations. You need to be careful. You need to not tell everyone what you're going to be doing. If you have one trusted friend or family member that will help you, that's the only person you tell, and it's life as usual until the second you leave. And when you leave, you don't tell anybody where you're going. And you make sure that your kids are safe, you make sure that you are safe, and that's how you do it.
That's very traumatic. So
It is.
this is something you have experienced,
Yes.
and with her experience, she is desiring to inspire women, men, women and men,
Yeah.
and children who may have a predator in their life, to notice those signs, red flags that are such as being isolated from family, treated unkindly. You're finding yourself defending them, and they can't be around large groups of people, right?
Yeah.
So when somebody does have something like this happen, they can call someone like yourself.
Yes.
I know that Libby has a special program. It's a business called Abundant Life Source. Would you like to tell us a little bit about your business?
Well, I'm going to be able to do coaching, inspirational and motivational speaking, and to be able to help people, men and women, heal from the abuse, the traumatic, it's almost post-traumatic stress disorder is what it is basically. And when you have that, it's hard to have your thinking be in a good place because you're still dealing with your mind being warped by the person that was in your life using you. And so you don't think clearly. You start to think like they think, and so everything they're doing becomes okay somehow to you. So when you are in that situation, you need someone who is neutral, someone who's in your corner, someone who can say, okay, you're telling me stuff that is totally over the top on this, and even though you don't see it because your thinking is starting to be that way, I'm here to tell you this is not right. This is not good. You need to change something.
These are signs for abusive relationships, too.
Yes, it is.
Not just
Yes, it
predators.
is.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you find yourself in a situation where any of these red flags come up and you feel like you can't get out, or you have any doubt in your mind, seek somebody that you trust and you love and that really cares about you to get assistance and get help. Libby, tell me a little bit about your program. What are you going to be doing? Is it a one-on-one coaching, or?
Yes, it's going to be that. It's also I'm going to be doing speaking, seminars, workshops where we can help more people at a venue than just, in my nursing career, I did labor and delivery, and so we would help mom have the baby, and that was wonderful. But now it's gotten to the point where I need to help more people than just that, and so that's what we're beginning. And then as that process starts, if there are people that want to have one-on-one or more intense coaching, then I have that program that'll be available.
Have that available.
Yes.
Okay, and how will people get a hold of you?
Oh, I have a phone number.
Okay.
I think it might be coming up on the screen. Okay, thank you. And I also have an email address that you're welcome to use. It's libbyan365@gmail.com.
You can also find her you can get a hold of me at the Patty Sadler Show on Facebook, and I'll be happy to relay any messages you might have or any queries to her. She's a great gal, and I would love to work with her myself. I mean, she has so much experience, and she is so motivating and inspiring. She would be great for anybody to do some one-on-one coaching, especially if you have some trauma in your life.
Yeah, and there's a lot of different kinds of trauma. It can be, if you're the mother of someone who's involved with a predator, you receive trauma, not just your family member. So there's a lot of stuff that needs to heal. It needs to be brought out and
Everybody's
dealt with.
affected by this.
It is.
Everybody is.
Absolutely.
Wow, Libby. Hey, thank you for taking the time to come to the studio and be here. I'm so honored and privileged to have you here. Thank you so much. And you have a great day, and we'll see you right after the break. Thank you.